This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Lightyear is a failure. It's a pointless movie that many people forget the very second they stopped watching it. And while I am saying that, while I sound like I absolutely hate this movie, I feel more let down by it than anything. It's a movie that didn't need to exist and yet was made quite honestly for no reason. But there are times in which a movie feels powerful and heartfelt and like a story that truly wants to be told. But those very few times that I love are greatly overshadowed by a very weak end product. But first, I want to quickly say that if you were one of those people who cheered for this movie's failure, you're weird. Or even worse, if you were one of those people that were like, the movie failed because it's woke. It's a woke movie. That's why it's failing. Disney is woke now. You're also very weird. What is wrong with you? It's woke because girls kiss for 2 seconds? Seriously? That's woke to you? Genuinely, if you think like that, you need to grow up. You're so stupid. The movie isn't mid because girls kiss in it. The movie is mid just because it's mid. The entire conversation around this movie was just so disgusting. Like, if you're really mad at this, what is wrong with you? This is a movie about a toy in space fighting aliens and traveling through time. But girls kissing? Ugh. How dare you, Disney, you woke garbage, you political pandering company? Oh my god, girls kissing? It's just embarrassing. Like, just die if you think like that. Just stop wasting resources. But anyways, I had hope for Lightyear. I had hope when I first saw the trailers. I had hope seeing how gorgeous this story seemed. At first, I wasn't one of those people angry at the movie being connected to Toy Story simply for the brand recognition. I didn't mind it. I wanted to see for myself if this story could stand on its own without having to stand behind a Toy Story name. And after watching it, it doesn't. Lightyear follows Buzz Lightyear, the space-themed toy dude from the Toy Story series. This movie is apparently the movie that Andy of Toy Story watched in theaters that made him want to buy the toy so badly. And in the theater, this dork kid brought all of his toys to watch with him. And first off, that's lame. You're lame. You're lame for this, kid. No one brings toys to a movie theater. You're a dork for this, and I hope he got bullied in school afterwards. This movie cost around $200 million and didn't really make that budget back even with the brand recognition. I think the reason people weren't really flocking to the theater to see this was because of the Toy Story series having two separate endings. Toy Story always has been regarded as a series that many people praise as perfection, so every time Disney or Pixar try to do something else with the franchise, everyone freaks out and gets angry before the final product even releases. They did it with Toy Story 4, and they did it with Lightyear. But hot take, I love Toy Story 4, but that's a separate video I want to make one day. Lightyear is a story just about Buzz, but it does not justify its own existence. It takes what we know about him from Toy Story and gives a very surface level spin-off tale to learn more about his character. I think the first third of this movie is great. It's fantastic, but it overstays its welcome very quickly after. The movie opens with Buzz leaving hypersleep to land his giant ship on an unknown planet. This planet would be a great creative tool to make a beautiful world and universe worth exploring that Toy Story was never able to. At first, I thought this world was going to hold many creative aliens and species and cool landscapes and everything, but it has none of that. The only real threat on this planet are these green vine things and bug things. It's a boring choice for a movie that needs to prove itself as something special, but if the setting we're inhabiting isn't special itself, that's a bad start. We see Lightyear start to explore along with his friend Hawthorne and a rookie. Buzz Lightyear hates rookies, which sets up a small arc for him to eventually put up with and love rookies. Spoiler alert, that's his only arc in the movie, and kind of sucks. They have a chase sequence where they run away from bugs and escape, but end up crashing and stranded. This sets forward a great small story for Buzz, a story worthy of an award-winning short film, not a feature-length movie. And while it plays out that way, seemingly since the director of this movie only has made short films. This is why the first 30 minutes of this movie feel so strong compared to the rest after the turning point. After being stranded on this planet, the entire crew sets up a base for Buzz to run experiments that will hopefully get them off the planet. This experiment has him launch his smaller ship into space to get this glowy crystal thing to become a power source to leave. And all of it, I love. I love the clear-cut mission. I love the entirety of the group putting their hope on Buzz. It's great. Buzz has immense pressure to accomplish this mission to get them all back home safely. The music, the momentum, the space travel in general, it's all so good. Buzz traveling around this fiery death ball had me gripping my seat, and then something goes wrong and Buzz lands safely back on the planet. It turns out that time has passed very quickly on this planet while he was in space, and this leads for a great sequence of trial and error, putting more pressure on Buzz with each trip and seeing everyone around him grow old and feel like this home is more permanent with each trip. We also meet Socks, a funny robot character who takes things literal and says things literal. It's a safe trope that Disney has done repeatedly over the years because they know it works and it's easy, but Socks does have cute moments and I'm a sucker for cats, so I can't really complain. Buzz does a lot more trials with time flying faster with each trip. Watch out though, watch out here, okay? Because girls kiss here. Whoa, 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 what? Holy crap, what? Girl, oh my god, why didn't anyone tell me girls are gonna kiss in the movie? This entire sequence continues with Buzz constantly failing no matter how hard he tries. It's honestly beautiful, and seeing time pass by him rapidly for him and us as the audience creates so much heartbreak. Eventually, after so many trials, his friend is gone. Too much time has passed and she has as well. This is so good. This is such a good moment in this movie. It's the best part. The entire Star Ranger system then chooses to retire the trials and just stick it out on the planet. And this is where the movie falls right on its face for me. Buzz breaks the rules, does one more trial, and lands back but much further in time than before. You see, for the rest of the runtime, for the next hour, the movie just devolves into an average Star Wars spin-off essentially. Buzz lands back and meets a group of people, with one of them just being the granddaughter of his old friend. And from this, it's just generic and boring. Buzz's emotional moments end here. He gets closer with the two funny prisoner people and the granddaughter, and it turns out they're all rookies. Oh no, Buzz hates rookies. Him and the rookies fight these robots that, like, okay, yeah, whatever. They're like no personality robots. But they're robots because this movie needs to involve Zurg, the old Toy Story villain for Buzz. Oh my god. And for the next 30 to 40 minutes, it's just a bunch of action. It's action on a boring planet with the bugs and the robots, and the incredible emotion that we felt in the first 20 minutes just disappears. There's a long, drawn-out comedic sequence where they eat sandwiches differently than how we do in real life, and it goes on for 8 minutes. People want to be mad at the girls kissing, while I'm mad at the bad jokes, dude. It's very bad. The joke starts good, and then it repeats over and over and over again, and I hate that. There's nothing I hate more than drawn-out, repeated jokes that want to be quirkier than they actually are. Oh, haha, Buzz is eating a sandwich without bread on top. I don't care. His friends are dead. Really, this is the only part of the movie worthy to talk about besides the beginning, because the movie really just becomes so utterly pointless until the end. It's a movie that had enough story for 20 minutes and didn't know what to do after its strongest moment. But if it's going to fill time and pad, I just wish it did so in a more fun way. But sneaking around boring gray bugs and stumbling around a boring lifeless robot planet just isn't fun. And relying on quirkiness that you think is quirky, but it's actually not, pisses me off. The humor of this movie is equivalent to the people that post their friends being insane on Instagram, but it's just them balancing milk on their head in the Walmart aisle. You're not that crazy, you're not that insane, you're boring, and I hate you. And that's basically this movie. Eventually, Buzz is captured by Zurg, and we get the worst plot twist I have seen in an animated movie. It turns out that Zurg is Buzz. What? That's crazy. Whoa. No, it's not that crazy. It's not crazy because it ends up being a cheap cop-out. It turns out that this Buzz went through a different timeline than our Buzz. Years and years of his life, he regretted his failure and became like this because of it. It's interesting. It takes the interesting story at the beginning of the movie and creates a dark outcome that feels in tone with the emotion felt throughout the entire beginning sequence. But the caveat of all of this is that this Buzz just fucking dies. Turns out that he's actually too evil, so he must die, and that's an easy ending for the movie. It rids the characters of any consequence and actual tough choices. This is an issue I actually have with Toy Story 3 that Toy Story 4 corrected beautifully, but I'm saving that video for another day, like I said. This Buzz is evil. He's evil, so he dies. And our Buzz that we've stuck with through the whole movie saves the day in a good, simple, good guy way. It's actually so disappointing how this plays out, because when I was just starting to feel like this movie was pointless, and I'd hoped for a more worthwhile story to be told, and then it ends pointlessly. Hey, the ending of this movie truly shows that it honestly should have never been made into a movie. It truly drives home that it's pointless. By the end of the movie, Buzz is friends with the granddaughter and the prisoners, and they do Space Ranger stuff, and the entire group around them is fine and normal, and nothing changed whatsoever. It's a contradicting ending. Buzz right before this talks about how everyone on the planet had an entire life, so who is he to reverse all of that just for himself? But yeah, he's still selfish because he simply just kills this old Buzz because it's easy to save the day that way. As an audience, this Buzz that we know stays the exact same from the beginning to the end. The only difference being now that he likes rookies, and before he didn't. That is his only change as a character. After time passing rapidly around him and everything, all the actual weight and change that should affect him long term is erased because it's all put on this old Buzz, and then they kill him off. That's it. That's super easy and lame. It's a movie where Buzz lands on a planet as a ranger and leaves the planet as a ranger. There's not a story worth being told here. It doesn't justify his existence and cost of $200 million. It's worthy of a nice spin-off side thing that goes right to streaming, but not a story that I would rush to see. I get why this movie wasn't successful because there truly is no point to it. There isn't a message to tell aside from liking other people. The message it had going for it about consequence is erased without a second thought. Or even if the message was going to be about living with your mistakes, well, Buzz doesn't really have to do any of that. Every single mistake he ever made is also erased because he gets to stay a space ranger in the end and everything is fine for him. And without a message, this movie truly has nothing else going for it. The only thing this movie has is pretty animation, but the pretty animation is wasted on a planet with no personality or a sci-fi wonder. It's just a bland movie that doesn't do anything new, but nothing worthy of your time either. It didn't fail because it was woke, like really stupid people like to say. It failed because it's not good. A story should have a reason to be told, and this story simply just doesn't have a reason. I tried searching for a reason, but I just couldn't find one. But you know what I did find? A thirst for learning, which I quenched with today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of amazing classes for people wanting to explore new skills and get lost in a world of creativity. They have classes on editing, graphic design, photography, and even cooking. And funny enough, the cooking ones are what I've been watching the most of recently. I watched a class on how to make French macaroons, and that was a wild ride, let me tell you that. I might actually have to get off my butt and make some of these because hot dog, they look great. And the class was actually really easy to follow along. I liked it a lot. Skillshare is created specifically for learning, meaning that there's no ads, so you can stay focused on whatever class that you choose. They even offer classes with subtitles in Spanish, French, Portuguese, and German. So whether you're someone looking for a new hobby or craft a master or just pick up new skills, you can use my link in the description to sign up for Skillshare. The first 1,000 people to use my link in the description actually get a whole month free, which is pretty dope. Thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video.